All right, Outlander fans. As we continue to anxiously await the last 1.5 seasons of Outlander, let's take a look at the new spin-off series that's been announced. I'll go over everything we officially know so far, and maybe even look at a few rumors that have been flying around. The spin-off will be called Outlander Blood of My Blood, and is reported to tell the stories of Jaime and Claire's parentage in their respective timelines. While the flagship series is known for its faithfulness to the best-selling book series by Diana Gabaldon, it's my understanding that this show is a little bit different in regards to its source material, but it will likely include many characters we have at least heard about before, and some familiar, albeit younger versions of faces we know well. The plot of Blood of My Blood will follow 2 storylines. The first takes place in the familiar 18th century Highlands of Scotland, including Castle Leoch and Lollybroch. This storyline will see a romance between Ellen Mackenzie and Brian Fraser, the union which we know inevitably brings us one Jaime Fraser. Diana Gabaldon is currently working on a book about this very story, and as she will be consulting on the series, it's safe to say she will make sure the story of forbidden love is handled with the care we are used to. The second storyline of the series will take place around World War I and involves Julia Morriston and Henry Beecham, who will become the parents of Claire Beecham, aka Randall Fraser. Little has been said about Claire's parents, even in the Outlander books. We know they died in a car crash when she was very young and were a banker and a teacher. Gabaldon has been pretty open about not having any inclination of writing more about them, so this storyline will be an entirely new story, not based off of anything in the books. A little unnerving, but the writer and showrunner, Matthew B. Roberts, who worked on Outlander proper, will be at the helm once again for the prequel, so here's hoping he doesn't take things too far off the rails. The filming of Blood of My Blood has begun, so we know much of the casting. Jaime's father, Brian Fraser, was the only of the main characters to appear in the show proper in a flashback, where he was played by Andrew Whipp. His younger self will be portrayed by Jamie Roy. I'm sure the name is purely a coincidence, but it's a fun one. Playing Jaime's mother Ellen, we have Harriet Slater. Claire's mother Julia will be played by Hermione Corfield, and her father Henry will be portrayed by Jeremy Irving. Other main characters include younger versions of familiar characters, like Jaime's grandfather, Simon Fraser, better known as Lord Lovett, played by Clive Russell. We saw him in Season 2 when Jaime was gathering troops for the Battle of Culloden. The young version of Lord Lovett will be played by Tony Curran. Beloved solicitor Ned Gowan was a mainstay of Season 1, played by Bill Patterson, and even made an appearance in Season 3 to dissolve Jaime's marriage to Leary. Young Ned Gowan will be played by Connor MacNeil. Jaime's uncle and eventual laird of the powerful clan Colin Mackenzie, as played by Gary Lewis, is a memorable recurring character in the first several seasons of Outlander. Young Colin will be played by Seamus McLean Ross. Jaime's other uncle, Dougal Mackenzie, played by Graham McTavish, is an unforgettable presence in the early seasons of Outlander, as well as a direct descendant of Roger. Young Dougal will be played by Sam Retford. It will be fascinating to see the relationship between these brothers in their younger years and how it develops to what we've seen in the main show. We cannot forget the youngest of the siblings, Jaime's tenacious Aunt Jocasta, gloriously played by Maria Doyle Kennedy throughout the flagship series. I am very much looking forward to seeing a younger version of such an iconic role. Hopefully Sive Malin is up to the task. And we will even get a spry young version of Jaime's beloved godfather, Murtagh, portrayed by Duncan LaCroix in the main series. The younger version will be played by Rory Alexander. It will be so interesting to see his dynamic with the others in the cast, especially Ellen and Jocasta. Other names we may be seeing younger versions of include Mrs. Fitz, previously played by Annette Badland, and now by Sally Mesham. We'll also see Archbug, who is still prominent in the main series with the Jacobite gold debacle causing his wife's death, and ongoing threats to Ian, where he is played by Hugh Ross. His younger self will be played by Terrence Ray. In a fun twist, the younger versions of Rupert and Angus will be played by the original actors' own sons, though they are very young at this point in the story. Other characters known to be in the show are Jaime's other grandparents, Davina Porter and Red Jacob Mackenzie, and Isaac Grant with his son Malcolm, who is the intended suitor for Ellen. Side note, Isaac was cast to be played by the late Brian McCarty. It seems he was able to finish filming, but the status of the role is sadly uncertain after he unexpectedly passed away in April of this year, 2024. With so many of the minds behind the original show returning to the prequel, there's a good chance it can maintain the magic of our beloved Outlander. But only time will tell. With so little being revealed about the actual plot of Blood of My Blood, fans are left with some burning questions. Perhaps the biggest question I have is, will there be time travel? We know that at least one of Claire's parents must have the time travel gene, so it is possible. Though the author has stated she doesn't think they even knew they had it. Otherwise, a character we know from the main series could travel back in time. Maybe even one of the kids. Could it be possible to see a grown-up Jemmy or Mandy travel to meet their grandparents? Time travel is such an integral part of Outlander, I just can't imagine them excluding it altogether. Another question I have is, will we get to see Uncle Liam? One of the only characters we know from Claire's past is her archaeologist uncle who raised her, last seen in a flashback in the very first episode of the original series. It's hard to imagine telling the story of her parents without him, but I've yet to see him mentioned in any way. And finally, when will we get to see it? The rumor is that Starz plans on a 2025 release, but they've been known to draw things out unexpectedly. Seriously, they can have something in the can and still make us wait forever before giving it to us. So time will tell. Are you excited for this new addition to the Outlander universe? Have you heard other information I didn't cover? And what are you hoping to see in this prequel? Let us all know in the comments down below, and I will see you in the next video.